Hello and welcome to Howard's Horse Handicapping. This is Howard Kravitz. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. It is Thursday, April 1st, April Fool's Day. Happy April Fool's Day out there. It is the opening day of April. It's opening day of baseball. We won't talk about my Chicago Cubs, who lost to the Pittsburgh Pirates, who should be losing about 100 games this year, but we won't focus on that. It's opening weekend at Keeneland, and what an unbelievable weekend of racing we have. And speaking of opening, it's time to open up those pocketbooks because we have some fantastic Triple Crown prep races, Kentucky Derby prep races to talk about all over the country. Again, thank you very much for joining me tonight. I know that you have a lot of choices on who you can listen to when it relates to your betting dollar. There's a lot of fantastic podcasts and people to listen to. If you're new to the show, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Let's talk about ways you can get in touch with me or the show. First of all, I have a new email. There's a scroll down there at the bottom. So I have a new email just for this show and horse racing in general. It is hkravitzhorse at gmail.com. It's coming right now on the bottom of the screen there. There it is right there. hkravitzhorse at gmail.com. If you want to contact me more on a personal level, a little more privately and secure, feel free to email me any questions you have about horse racing, anything in general you want to ask me. I'll be happy to get back to you on that email. Also, here's what we need you to do. My channel is growing tremendously. My Twitter handle is growing. I can't thank you guys enough, as you know, for supporting me and this show. So make sure you subscribe right there on the right side of the screen. And also on the right side of the screen, of course, we have our chat. I'd love to hear from you. Please make sure you put in some comments so we can have a great conversation throughout this show because we've got a lot to talk about and I want to hear your opinions. If you've been on my live stream before, you know that I try to get to as many comments as possible. And I love the banter that we talk about back and forth. So please make sure you watch, and not only that, of course, you type in the chat. We already have more people than ever listening right now throughout the world on this live stream. Thanks for joining us again. What are you waiting for? Call your friends, call your neighbors, talk to the guy in the corner that you talk about horse racing, whatever. Tell him, hey, this Howard's Horse Handicapping, Howard Kravitz, it's a great show. He's entertaining. He gives me a lot of good advice. I know that I've been able to give you a lot of winners, pick fours we've hit pick fives, we've hit pick sixes at Santa Anita. And by the way, there's another one, another mandatory payout Saturday at Santa Anita. I've given you close to 20 to 1 shots. We had Mishriff 19 to 1. I had Mishriff again at 6 to 1. I gave you Idol. We're going to give you a lot of winners on this show. Sure, we might miss once in a while. Of course, that's going to happen. This is a tough game. But again, I do appreciate you following the show, and please spread the word. I crossed the 150 mark of people that are following me on Twitter, which is fantastic. We've got 120 subscribers right now, and again, I've only been live streaming, and this channel's only been around for only about 6 or 7 weeks. Again, thank you very much for support, but you got to spread the word, folks, right? Spread the love. Let's get this going. Let's continue to enjoy horse racing and talk about it because there's a lot of interesting betting angles and handicapping insights that I'd like to think that I can provide for you, including horses that I don't like that take money, like Spielberg. Oof, didn't like him. He was bad. But there's some efforts running this weekend that we might have to take a look at for sure. On Twitter, I just want to mention, so tomorrow, I also have a live stream tomorrow. It's a bonus live stream. It's going to be at the same time, Friday night. It's going to be at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. Now, I know I have a lot of followers on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, you need to go on Twitter and vote. I have put out a survey. I put it out, I think, yesterday. You can just go look at my tweets. But I tweeted yesterday, I believe, a survey on what you'd like to see tomorrow in the live stream. You have two choices. We can talk about the late pick 5 at Keeneland on Saturday, or we can talk about the mandatory 20-cent pick 6 payout at Santa Anita on Saturday. Look, folks, I'm here for you. Okay, I'll do whatever you like in this situation. So it's very close. I think it's literally a one vote difference right now between the Keeneland late pick 5 and the Santa Anita pick 6. So vote on Twitter. There's a survey that I sent out. It'll take you literally just one click. Which one do you want to see? And go ahead and put that out so we can talk about it. So I'm just making some adjustments here on my channel so I can make sure I'm watching you guys and I can see the chat. Trish Smith. Trish is joining us. And that's the other thing great. Trish, let's get some more. Let's get some of your female friends on here. We want some more female listeners. Again, we need to spread the love. And Trish already said she's planning for Keeneland. She can't wait. Listen, I got my Keeneland. If you can see it, Keeneland right there. It's an unbelievable racetrack. It's a great area. The barns are tremendous. She's putting together tickets already for the pick 6 and the pick 5. She can't wait. David Piscopo is already on there, listening, ready to make some comments. David, thanks for joining. The Gazelle. I don't know if we're going to be talking about the undercard at Aqueduct tonight, but if we have time at the end, certainly we can talk about that. So, without further ado, again, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Comment down below the video player also. If you are watching this as a replay, so it's Thursday night right now as we're live streaming. If you're going to watch this later tonight on Thursday or tomorrow on Friday, or you're going to watch on Saturday morning, early afternoon to prep for these big races, please make sure you comment down below the video player on things you like about this show, things you don't like about the show, any picks that we talk about, any horses you really like, or any suggestions, comments. I'm very open and willing to listen to your thoughts about the show. All right, so enough of the chatter. The great thing now, usually on this show, is we've been previewing pick 4s, 5s, 6s, etc. We're only going to be talking about 3 races tonight, but are they big races? They are all Kentucky Derby preps. They're 100-point preps. The winner's going to get 100 points. The second place finisher is going to get 40. Obviously, the winner is going to qualify for the Derby. 40 points usually gets you into the Derby. It's hard to say right now, but I would say if you finish second in one of these big 3 races, you're probably getting into the Derby if the connections want to go. And there's a lot of very interesting horses and races we need to talk about. So what we're going to do is we're going to go east to west. We're going to talk about the Wood first, then we're going to talk about the Bluegrass at Keeneland, and then we are going to talk about Santa Anita. Now also, there is a free contest. I buried the lead. I got to do a better job. I buried the lead. We are going to have a free contest. That's right. All you're going to have to do is predict something. You're going to have to wait towards the end of the show. I know it's a cliffhanger. And you have a chance to win a prize on this show. And by the way, it's coming straight out of my pocket. No corporate money involved. Just because I care about you guys and I want to increase the viewership and I enjoy horse racing. You'll have to stay towards the end of the show. A free contest. And we'll talk about the prize and etc. You don't want to miss that. Please make sure you stay on towards the end. And if you are watching this as a replay later, do me a favor. Don't just, hit that button and just go right to the end, because you want to hear about the opinions and you like to, hear what we talk about, right? But if you have to, you can go to the end of the show and I'll be talking about the contest. But of course, I'd prefer you listen to the whole show so you can comment, because we'd love to hear your opinions. All right. So let's go ahead right now. We've got Khan is also watching. My friend Khan from Las Vegas is on. He's already chatted. Thanks, Khan. Appreciate it. Hopefully we can get you some winners this weekend. Khan lives in Vegas. When I was out in Las Vegas, he was there. We had a nice time visiting. I visited with Khan. We talked horse racing. All right, let's get right into the races. Now, again, like I said, there's only 3 races we're going to talk about tonight. So we're going to pretty deep dive into these 3 races. The first race that we are going to be talking about tonight is going to be the Wood Memorial. The Wood Memorial is at Aqueduct. Let's go ahead and look at the PPs and let's jump right in, folks. So, the Wood Memorial It is $750,000, 750,000. They're going a mile and eighth. Of course, only for 3-year-olds at Aqueduct Grade 2. Let's go ahead and look at the field. As I see, Richard is joining us tonight. Thank you very much. He's already jumped in. And Richard just mentioned, yeah, Wesley Ward is ridiculous with his 2-year-olds, Richard. And there's 2 baby races tomorrow at Keeneland. But anyway, I digress. Let's go ahead and talk about the wood. We've got from the rail, Brooklyn Strong for trainer Daniel Velasquez. The last time Strong ran, was when he barely won the Remsen over 10 for 10. So he's not run since last December, a Grade 2 winner. You have Crowded Trade. Chad Brown's got 2. This is one of them, Eric Consell, who had an unbelievable last few weeks in the winter meet at Aqueduct to win the jockey title there. You have Bourbonic, 30-1. Todd Pletcher. That's right. You have a Todd Pletcher, 30-1 morning line. The early morning line favorite, Risk Taking. This is the other Chad Brown, again for Klarovich. They're both Klarovich. He's putting I-Red Ortiz on Risk Taking. Dynamic 1, 12-1. Another Todd Pletcher. Jose Ortiz is up. You have Prevalence at 6-1. 3-1. Prevalence was a huge buzz horse down at Gulfstream, undefeated for Brendan Walsh, Tyler Gaffleone. Candyman Rocket, 12-1. Bill Mott, Junior Alvarado ran 2 nice races before a big clunker in the Tampa Bay Derby last time. You have Weyburn, 9-2. Jimmy Jerkins won the Gotham over Crowded Trade in his first start of the year at almost 47-1. And then you have Market Maven, 30-1 morning line. Penny Pierce, 2 for 4, is a big price in this race. So where do we begin? We have to talk about a lot of replays in this race in particular. First of all, I would say of the 3 races that we have this weekend, I think it's pretty fair to say that at least in my opinion, that the Wood Memorial is probably the most wide open race of the 3. There's a bunch of horses that can win. I think there's some obvious tosses as well, but there are many horses that can win. It's very contentious, and it's going to be very interesting to see who comes out on top. So the first thing we need to do is I want to talk about Brooklyn Strong. So Brooklyn Strong has not raced since December. That in general to me is not a good thing. He has been working steadily. The trainer says he's definitely ready. We're going to go ahead and quickly, again, we're not going to watch the whole race, but we'll go look at the Remsen briefly. He beat, now it is important to note that in this race was Known Agenda. We're going to go ahead and just fast forward here. Brooklyn Strong is the 3 on the outside. Known Agenda, the Florida Derby winner, is right here. He's the 2. It was sloppy that day. And you'll see Brooklyn Strong here coming on the outside at 7-1 and overtakes 10 for 10. You see this is a pretty nice size horse. Obviously likes the slop. Right here it looked like 10 for 10, who was the favorite in this race, was home. But I'll tell you what, Brooklyn Strong. He really continued to fight on. You see it's a clear distance to everyone else. By the way, including Known Agenda, who's coming up here on the outside for 3rd. It was a fantastic battle. Looked like they brushed their mid-stretch. Brooklyn Strong is able to go by just barely and win the Remsen. Fantastic win. And there you see right there, just crossing the wire. Just crossing the wire there was, sorry about that. Just crossing the wire was Known Agenda. I do not like Brooklyn Strong to win. I think he can be a factor. This is a very long layoff with no prep. This is a very tough task. By the way, this horse only costs $5,000. I mean, what a story. This horse has won $195,000. It only costs $5,000. That's just fantastic, right? What a deal. He's already made back a ton of money for the ownership, almost 40 times as much. So I'm sure they're very happy with Brooklyn Strong anyway. I do not like Brooklyn Strong tomorrow on the win end. We also are going to watch another replay with Crowded Trade. Now, Crowded Trade was with Weyburn last time in the Gotham. Let's go ahead and watch some of that race as well. You see, Weyburn was 47 to 1. Crowded Trade was 5 to 1. Highly Motivated was the big favorite in that race. Highly Motivated is running. We're going to talk about Highly Motivated. Highly Motivated is running in the Bluegrass tomorrow at Keeneland. So again, we're just going to go ahead and watch just a little bit of here. This race was a flat mile. Again, you want to focus on the 5 and the 8. There's Weyburn there on the outside getting a perfect trip. Crowded Trade was a little bit wider. I think Crowded Trade got a worse trip in this race, but not that much worse. And you see they're both going to be going by Freedom Fighter here in the stretch. I see Brett and Cassie. We got some great people joining us. I'll be getting back to you. So you got Weyburn here, who was on the wrong lead. It's sort of goofy. And it looked like right here, Crowded Trade was going to go by. I mean, Crowded Trade, right here, he's got a head in front. But Weyburn on the inside, to me, looks like a bigger horse and perhaps better suited for the distance, in my humble opinion. Wins the race just by a neck. And you see there in third was Highly Motivated, who again is running in the Bluegrass. So what do I make of that race? That was a very tough duel. I don't know if it's how much it's taken out of them. You see, they got a very nice buyer. Crowd Trade got a 95 there. Weyburn, who was a big price, also got a 95. I will say that I have neither one of them on the win end. I like Weyburn more because I like how he fought back, and I like the breeding a little more on Weyburn. Crowded Trade, if you look at Crowded Trade's breeding here, you can see Crowded Trade is by Jumpstart out of a, excuse me, let me just look real quick. Sorry, he's out of More Than Ready. Excuse me, he's out of a More Than Ready, um, out of a Jumpstart Mare Mod S. Brandon, I've been working on my, Brendan's been working on my vocabulary on the breeding. So, buy More Than Ready out of a Jumpstart Mare Mod S. But my point here is when you look at the dam Mod S, okay, got a mile 16th, not bad. There's some distance in there. You see Tropical Gardens, we don't have the PPs there. Jumpstart, who some of you might know, was really more of a sprinter type. I'm not 100% sure about the distance for this. He can win, but of the two, I would prefer Weyburn. Look at Weyburn's breeding. This is a horse that is out of Pioneer. This is out of Pioneer of the Nile, by Pioneer of the Nile, out of an AP Indy dam. This horse looks like, based on breeding, he wants to run all day long. You have to like that. I mean, look at the breeding here. Empire Maker, Star of Goshen, AP Indy, a Japanese horse. I mean, here's Sunday Affair. Again, we raced in Japan. We don't have the PPs for that. But anyway, I think Weyburn, to me, just visually is a little more likely, in my opinion, than Crowded Trade to get the distance. And I like Weyburn more on Saturday. Now, I'd also like to take a look at another race. And the other race I'd like to take a look at, because this horse, I will say right now, is sort of my price play of the race. So let's talk about my price play of the race. Jared, you disagree. Jared likes Brooklyn Strong. Jared, I hope he wins for you. If he wins off that layoff, that would be extremely impressive. Jared, I think you're going to get a decent price tomorrow. Brooklyn Strong is 6-1 morning line. I think you're going to get that 6-1. Again, it's extremely rare that a horse wins the biggest, Derby prep in the East Coast off of this kind of layoff. But if he wins, that'd be an incredible accomplishment. And you are going to get the price that you want. So let's talk about Candyman Rocket, because Candyman Rocket, I'm going to go ahead and put myself on screen here for just a minute. In this race, Candyman Candyman Rocket is my price play. And there's a few reasons why I like Candyman Rocket. I'm going to talk about Candyman Rocket for a little bit. We're going to watch the replay. One of the reasons I like Candyman Rocket in this race, first of all, I love Bill Mott, the trainer, number one. And I love Alvarado. That's a great combination. But what I really like is you're going to get a price. And the reason why you're going to get a price is because Candyman Rocket was absolutely awful last time. However, he had a lot of excuses in the race. I'm going to show you why. And when people see a horrible morning line, or excuse me, a horrible running line, and you see he lost by 25 lengths, most handicappers, or at least inexperienced handicappers, and some very good handicappers also, tend to shy away from that kind of running line. I am exactly the opposite. You need to look deeper and see what happened in that race. So let's talk about the Tampa Bay Derby. First of all, Candyman Rocket was the favorite in that race. Now, whether you think he should have been the favorite or not is a whole other discussion. But he finished second to last. So what happened to Candyman Rocket? And we have to watch this entire replay. Candyman Rocket is going to be the 3. And I want you to watch very carefully what happens to Candyman Rocket. First of all, out of the gate, he's going to stumble. Watch the 3 you see, first of all, he's a little fractious in the gate, if you can see. Right here, he's fractious, and right there. Let's watch this again, because all this matters a lot. Again, watch the 3 horse right here. He's fractious in the gate, and then you see veers out, he veers to the inside. He breaks slow. He's already in behind horses. Okay, fine. So a good horse will recover, right? You can see he's right there on the head-on shot. He's taking a lot of dirt right now, and you can see he's climbing a little bit. He's right here. He's in a good spot, but he looks to be a little bit uncomfortable with me. He's climbing. He takes him to the outside. I don't know if you saw that move. He got him to the outside, and now to me it looks like he's racing a lot more comfortably. They went 23-1 to the first quarter, and again I think he's sitting comfortably right there. I'm going to continue to let this run through. Now, he would like to be a little more patient. However, Helium on his outside comes up to his outside and forces Candyman Rocket to make an earlier move than I think the jock wanted him to. Now he's in between horses, fighting with Helium in the outside and the 11 horse on the inside with Promise Keeper. This is not a place you want to be. He's now in between horses, 4 wide, already in with some trouble at the beginning of the race. Helium makes the big move, who end up winning the race. Candyman Rocket is able to go with Helium, but you can see just can't quite keep up. And now you need to watch this carefully, okay? So the jock is starting to realize he can't win the race, and he's already wrapped up. He's not even asking. He's already wrapped up right here. He tries to stick once. This horse has given it up. Obviously, he's not running well, and he's wrapped up. Boom. He's already wrapped up. Anything that happens after this race is a complete wash. Forget about it. They knew he wasn't going to win this race. You can see they're just pulling him up right now. It doesn't even matter to me what happens. Whether he loses by 10 or whether he loses by 35, it doesn't really matter to me. So, in my opinion, he was fractious. Well, it's not my opinion. It's a fact. This horse, sorry, Candyman Rocket, was fractious in the gate. Then he got a bad start. Then he was in between horses, taking a lot of dirt in an uncomfortable spot that he's probably never been in before. Then a horse moves up to him on the outside, and he had to make an earlier move, and he just gave it up. Look, it was not a good effort. I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you that it was a good effort. But what's happened since? They regroup. Bill Mott, they send him down to Payson. He's got a bullet work, 48-1 over a pretty deep Payson strip there, training center in Florida. I don't think Mott would send this horse up here if he wasn't ready. His 2 previous races were an 87 and 85 buyer. When you look at the buyers, you see Prevalence, who's the second choice, is right in that ballpark. And Risk Taking, who is the favorite, is also right in that ballpark. The other real big numbers you have was Brooklyn Strong getting a 94 in the Remsen, which, listen, take nothing away, is a fantastic buyer for a 2-year-old in December. Crowded Trade also in Weyburn, they both got 95s. So, does Candyman Rocket have to improve? Yes. However, I love the outside post. I think he's going to get a nice stalking trip. And I don't know if Candyman Rocket can win the race, but I am definitely using him underneath. And I will show you my trifecta play that I like in this race. So let's talk about my top choice. My top choice is risk taking. I'm not going to show you the replay of the Withers, but he was actually, I'm sorry, I am going to show you the replay. I apologize. And by the way, I'm not going to show this many replays on every prep race we have tonight, but I'm probably going to spend the most time on the Wood because I think this is the most probably wide open race. He's the 5. Again, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward because we have other things we need to talk about. Risk taking, you see, is right there. He got a nice trip. He took dirt in his face. He relaxed kindly. You see again, he's the 5, the Claridge Stables. I singled, excuse me, I singled risk taking on this day in a bet because I liked his upside. And you see, as Capo Kane, who was scratched out of this race on Saturday, and Eagle Orb are 1-2. Here comes risk taking on the outside, getting a nice trip. And when you watch the stretch here, I think this is very impressive. I really like the close on this horse. I think it's the best closer in the race on Saturday. I think there's enough speed. He switched leads wonderfully. You see, he stays right-handed, and as the 3 drifts out a little bit, Jock goes left-handed with the stick, and he's closing very well. And I really like this acceleration right here. I think this was a nice effort for risk taking. I really like him tomorrow. He did switch back. You see, he switched back to his left lead. He got a little bit goofy there. I don't like that. But he is a young horse. He's still learning. He might have just idled on the front end a little bit. Didn't really know what was going on. It's not the most clever pick on top. Risk taking is 5-2 morning line. He'll be the favorite along with Prevalence, the 6. But I like risk taking. There's enough speed in this race. I'm expecting another forward move. Risk taking is my top choice in the Wood Memorial on Saturday. Other horses that I haven't really mentioned yet, Prevalence. Now, Prevalence is going to take a lot of money. He was absolutely outstanding on January 23rd. He was sort of the talk of horse racing in terms of maiden breakers. There was a huge buzz on him. So he ran great. A horse coming out of that race that you might want to take a look at is a horse named Ghazali. Ghazali, by the way, is running at Keeneland this weekend. I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe Ghazali is running in the first race on Saturday. In fact, I think I have. Let's take a look at it real quick because I think he is. And I think it's worth noting, there he is, yeah. So Saturday, the first race at Keeneland, the one Ghazali is running. So why do I even bring that up? Well, it should be pretty obvious. You might want to see how Ghazali does because Prevalence beat Ghazali in his maiden breaker, excuse me. Then Prevalence came back and won, which was basically a paid workout. He won by 3. It was not a very tough field at all. In fact, I'm not sure either race was really great fields. He's been working well. This is his first time going 2 turns. So he's got that against him. He's going to take a lot of money. He's not my top choice because I think he's going to be completely overbet. I think he's going to be an underlay in this race. And not only that, I'm not sure he has to win. He also has to go 2 turns. He's got a lot of questions to answer, but obviously he can win. Peter Appleby joined the show tonight. Peter, thanks for joining the show. And I see Jim also. Jim from Buffalo is also calling. Jim, you've got our backup quarterback. Jim, you got Mitchell Trubisky. Congratulations. Let me tell you something, Jim. You better hope that Mitchell Trubisky does not see the field and Jared Allen stays healthy. You do not want Trubisky on the field from a Bears fan. Just trust me. But as a backup, he'll do just fine. Jim, thank you for joining the show. Jim actually likes helium a little bit for the Derby. Um, so Peter talks about Canman Rocket. He said that he doesn't like Canman Rocket. It's really not the far outside. I mean, this is the 7 hole, Peter. I have to respectfully disagree with you. This is a 1.125 miles. It's a decent enough run in the first turn. It's the 7 hole. I don't think he's going to be wide. I mean, let's see the speed on the inside. Crowded Trade might be going. Hard to say. Where's the other speed in this race? Prevalence, according to the early time form, US, which is this number right here, it's just above, Again, it's below the jockey. He's got the fastest early time form. So according to time form, he's going to be on the lead. I don't think he's going to be on the lead. I personally think Prevalence is going, but I don't see any reason why he can't just sit off Prevalence, Peter. I don't think if he breaks, I don't think he's going to be wide. I mean, he's got to break, obviously. We'll see. Um, we'll see what happens. I think Wayburn's also going to show some speed. Let's go ahead and get to my picks here. So for those of you that are familiar to the show or not familiar to the show, usually I show pick fours, pick fives, pick six, whatever my bet is. I show a caveman ticket, which is just a straight ticket, and then I show an ABC ticket. Again, ABC ticket maker is the best way to go for horizontal betting. But of course, today we're just talking about 3 individual races. So what I'm going to show you right now is after each race, I'm going to show you my betting strategy for the race. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. So here's my betting strategy for the Wood. So my top choice is the 4, risk taking. My next top choices underneath would be the 7, Candyman Rocket, and the 8, Wayburn. And I would use the 1, 2, 5, and 6 underneath the Seahorses. Now, you might be saying, Howard, that's a bit risky. You're putting Prevalence, the 6 horse, as a C. He's got a lot of questions to answer. He's never been 2 turns. I question the fields he's been up against, and he's going to take a lot of money. Horse racing is all about value. Where are you going to get your value? And you're not going to get any value with Prevalence at all. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if he's the favorite. I think risk taking will be the favorite, but I wouldn't be surprised if Prevalence is not the favorite. And to me, he's a horrible play as a favorite in this race. In terms of trifectas, I would key on in Candyman Rocket. I don't think Candyman Rocket is going to win this race, so please don't misunderstand how I feel about Candyman Rocket. But I think a great try play would be risk taking on top and key Candyman Rocket in second and third. So you see I have 4 with 7 with a bunch of other horses in third. Ladies and gentlemen, that is only a $5 play for a dollar try. If you like that bet, you can play it for $4, $5, whatever, and hit it a bunch of times. If you're thinking to yourself, wow, that's a pretty specific play, that's not going to be easy. Listen, I have hit on these kind of plays before where I key in on a horse in second and third. If you followed the show, we had a huge $2,400 trifecta with Mishrif when I keyed Mishrif in all spots in Saudi Arabia and just put him there, in all spots with basically K-Nix Go and Charlton coming first or second. So listen, these bets can obviously win. They've happened. It's happened all the time for me. I could be very wrong, of course, as well, but that's why I like. The other play would be to pick Candyman Rocket in third as a key. So I'd go 4 with a whole bunch of horses in second with Candyman Rocket in third. Now, the only problem with that bet is if it comes risk-taking the 4 and then Prevalence in second, I'm not going to really get paid as much as I want. So what you could do is do a try, just a straight try, 4, 6, 7, and play that. And then you could also play a try 4 with 1, 2, 5, 8 with 7. That would make more sense from a dollar amount standpoint. But again, that is a very cheap amount. That's $5 for a $1 try. That's my opinion of the Wood. Please give me opinion down below there in the chat. We've got a great chat going tonight. Please comment on how you feel about Candyman Rocket, about those trifecta plays. Listen, your opinion might be completely different, and that's great. That's a great thing about horse racing, because there are a lot of different opinions, and there are some ways to go. I think in this 9-horse field, you could probably toss out 3 or 4 to me completely, pretty much out of the money for the most part. And I think there's only maybe 3 or 4 logicals to win the race, in my opinion. Candyman Rocket, again, probably won't win the race. I would probably also just, if for me, I'll probably put a small win bet on Candyman Rocket, just a small one. That last race was bad. However, I thought he had excuses. So again, comment down below the video player if you're watching this as a replay later. And of course, on the right side of the screen there, comment in the chat how you feel about this race. So Jared Bush comments, yes, I use Formulator, and Jared does not use formulator DRF, and that's fine. There's a lot of different ways you can go. Um, he loves Brooklyn Strong. Great. Good luck to you. Khan likes Weyburn. Weyburn is a B for me, Khan. I love the breeding of this horse. I know he was 47-1 last time. I don't think there's any killers in this race. I think Weyburn with the right trip can win back. I do have a little bit of concern, Khan. If you like Crowded Trade or Woodburn, that was an extremely taxing race they ran last time. Now, can they run that figure again? I don't know. I'm not saying that that race took everything out of the horse. I mean, they had a month to rest, but to repeat that same buyer effort, I don't think is going to be easy to do because they got a big buyer number there, and I'm a little bit concerned that Crowd Trade and Weyburn might regress a little bit, Con. But listen, I think Weyburn could definitely uh, win the race. Trish is just going to be watching this race and betting Keeneland. Trish, I hear you. No problem with that. So, speaking of Keeneland, Trish, that's my opinion on the wood. Now, I'm just going to give you a little tease here. I talked about my free contest. At the end of this show, the contest is going to revolve around the race at Aqueduct in the Wood Memorial. Sorry, Trish. But listen, it's a free contest, Trish. I'm sure you'll get involved. Again, I'll talk about the free contest at the end of the show. It's going to revolve around the Wood Memorial. And it's going to revolve around the Wood, mainly because the next two races, I think you're going to have pretty heavy favorites, especially, of course, the next race. And I think most of you know which race I'm talking about. So let's jump to the next race on the docket. And the next race we're going to talk about is the Bluegrass once I get this set up here. Alrighty. So let's go to the beautiful hills and green pastures of Kentucky and talk about the Bluegrass. Uh, I went to Keeneland for the first time. I don't know if you've been to Keeneland. If you've ever been to Keeneland, please chat there on the right side. It was on my bucket list. Again, I'm from the Chicago area, so no, it's not that far away, but I just never had the opportunity. Went to Keeneland a year and a half ago. I was there in the fall for the fall meet on the biggest day. It was basically, it's basically their biggest day in the fall, Breeders' Cup kind of preview day. It was absolutely outstanding. It was a gorgeous day. The track is fantastic. I went to Claiborne Farms and met Warfront, was able to pet him. I met Orb. I met Run Happy. Run Happy and I, we text now, we talk. I told him, let's start producing those babies. Let's go. Anyway, Claiborne was fantastic. If you ever have a chance to go to Keeneland, I highly recommend it. And if you're going to go, you need to go to one of, they have a lot of obviously fantastic farms there. You Windstar, Claiborne. I drove by, Jess Jackson's barn. Again, I waved hi to Rachel Alexandra, even though she couldn't see me. One of my favorite horses of all time. Anyway, if you've never been to the Lexington area, it is, and you're a horse lover, which I'm assuming you are if you're on the show, is an absolute must. So let's talk about Keeneland. This is the Bluegrass. It's going to be race 11. It's their last race on the card. Now, I will say sorry, I didn't mention, the wood goes off at, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Again, the wood goes off scheduled for 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The Bluegrass goes off, as you can see, scheduled at 6:35 Eastern Standard Time. This is also a 9-horse field with, of course, one huge name in it that we're going to talk about in a moment. You've got Hidden Stash from the rail. Vicky Oliver finished second to Helium in that Tampa Bay race that we were watching a little bit of the race with Candyman Rocket. Untreated. This is a horse for Todd Pletcher, Joel Rosario, coming off a big maiden score, 10-1. There's Highly Motivated. Highly Motivated was the 3-horse in that race that you saw with Weyburn and Crowded Trade. What you didn't see, and we'll talk about, is Highly Motivated had some trouble at the beginning of that race. He was the favorite, finished third in the Gotham. This was his first race of the year, so the Bluegrass will be his second race of the year, second choice. There it is, the big favorite, Essential Quality. Right now, the favorite in the Kentucky Derby right now as we stand a month before the race. He is undefeated 4 for 4. Brad Cox, Luis Saez, 3 to 5. I got to be honest, I don't even think you're getting a 3 to 5 on Saturday. I think it's going to be lower. Rombauer for Michael McCarthy, who's an excellent trainer from California. Florent Giroux into ride, 15 to 1 for Rombauer. You have LeBlanc, a big long shot, 50 to 1. Paul Lobo. Hush of a Storm for Bill Morey. Good train out in California. This horse has mainly been on Poly. He's won his last 3 starts on Poly. He comes here on dirt trying to qualify. He won the Battaglia last time. He's 15 to 1. Sitting on Go, a horse a lot of you might know, ran some big races last year. It's been a bit disappointing this year, obviously, for Dale Romans and Corey Lannery. 30 to 1 morning line. And then keep me in mind, a horse that if you've been paying attention to the Kentucky Derby trail, this is a horse you know. I talked about Keep Me in Mind quite a bit a few weeks ago because he was in the Rebel. And let me just actually, this is a great time for me to, before we talk more about the Bluegrass, if I may, I want to show you something. So um, I have made some adjustments on my YouTube channel, and I just want to take a brief second to show you what I've done with my YouTube channel. So if you just bear with me, because I do want to show you, uh, if you just hold on one second, I want to show you a few things about my YouTube channel because I think it's worth mentioning, especially if you're new to my show. So this is my current YouTube channel right now. You see we're live right there, but I've done some reorganization on my YouTube channel. So whether you're first time to the show tonight or my YouTube channel, I've now numbered, if you can see on the top there, here are all my uploads. I've numbered all of my episodes starting, this is episode 24. All my episodes are now numbered. If you scroll down further, if you want to see just my previews and live streams, they're all right there. You see me holding the money. So this row here, you can arrow over. You can see all my previews and live streams, all my recaps. My recap shows, as you can see, have grown. I had 76, 79, over 200. We've had close to 200 views of my recap shows. If you want to find out my opinions of what happened in the races, they're short. They're only about half an hour. And then also at the bottom, if you're new, I did a 43-minute video earlier when I started the YouTube channel on how I handicap a horse race, and I went through Diera Formulator and some angles that I like when I handicap a race. So again, this is my YouTube channel. Also, you can click on videos on the top. Here are all my videos right now that I have posted. And also there's a discussion you can discuss on there. And then also I talk about myself a little bit in the about column, and you can click on that and see my email address. And then also I have the pleasure of being on the Matt Bernier show 3 times as a guest. I know a few people that are on the stream tonight have also been on the show. It was a fantastic experience. I hope to be on it again. And you can click on any of these and I'll take you to my appearances on the Matt Bernier show. And you can see I've had over 4,000 views on this YouTube channel. I did join here, but that's a little misleading. This was based on something for school because I'm a teacher. This current Howard's Horse Handicapping channel has actually only been around since late January. So I just want to take you quickly through my channel. Hope you didn't mind me doing that. So my point is this, that Keep Me in Mind is a horse we talked about. If you want to find out what I said about Keep Me in Mind, you can just go back to my shows in the Oaklawn races. Keep Me in Mind is 8 to 1. So look, there's no reason to talk about this race for half an hour because there's going to be a huge favorite in this race. And the huge favorite in this race is Essential Quality. And this is not the most creative pick, but ladies and gentlemen, I'm not trying to beat Essential Quality. There's no one in this race, and I mean no one, in my opinion, that is going to beat Essential Quality on Saturday. This is going to be a stone cold single A in my late pick 5. I might throw a seahorse in. Actually, I am going to throw 1 or 2 seahorses in. But if Essential Quality loses, I'll be very surprised. He's been absolutely fantastic. I wish I don't want to sound like I'm being arrogant, but I'm telling you this happened. You know me, if you pay attention to the show, I'm very honest with you guys. When he won his race, his in at Churchill, his main race, when he lacked room, he like weaved between three horses and blew by the field and won in 109 .98. I honestly said out loud, "This is a Derby horse," and I usually don't make those kind of statements because, it's sort of ridiculous comment to make after one race. But considering the connections, and he was out of Tappet, who doesn't usually win going six, the way he did it. If you want to watch a race, watch. And again, we're not going to watch on here, but you can go to Twin Spires. You can go to watch it. The Churchill Downs races are a little bit more difficult to find, but if you see Essential Quality's maiden race, it was a thing of beauty. He's done nothing wrong. He's fantastic. I have nothing to say negative about Essential Quality at all. He came back last time in the Southwest. It was in the slop, his first time in the slop. Passed that test. Beat Spielberg, who I think is overrated or just isn't really much of a horse in my opinion. And beat Jackie's Warrior, who was very disappointing in that race. So I'm not sure he beat much in that race, but it's a great prep for this. He's been working well. I think he's going to be a lot more tactical in this race. There is not a lot of early speed in this race. I will say that. That's one very interesting pace dynamic here in the Bluegrass. There's not a lot of early speed in this race. Essential Quality is the clear favorite. I'm not trying to beat him. Let's talk about Highly Motivated, who is the second choice in this race, because I have a pretty strong opinion on Highly Motivated. So highly motivated, I'm sure some people are going to be using in their horizontals and their verticals. He's 3-1 morning line. I think that's probably about right. I think Essential Quality is going to be 2-5, and I think highly motivated is going to be about 3-1, 7-2. Let me just say that, and I'm going to put myself on camera here. As many of you know, and if you don't know, I have taken some very strong stands on horses that take a lot of money. I didn't like Cattle River. I did not like Spielberg, although he didn't take as much money as I thought. I did not like K Nix Go. I'm not afraid to toss a horse that's taking money. I do not like Highly Motivated to win this race. And in fact, I'm really hoping he does not run second. Now, before I just throw that out there, I have to give you some reasons. So, Highly Motivated, first of all, is a very talented horse. I like Highly Motivated. I think this horse is going to be a one-turn monster, maybe in the Woody Stevens on Belmont Day, on the H. Allen Jerkins, which is the 7 furlong race at Saratoga, I believe on Travers Day. I think this is more of a one-turn horse. Now in the Gotham, and I'm not going to show the whole replay, but I'm not going to show you the replay. In the Gotham, he did stumble a little bit and had a little bit of trouble early. Here's my thing. Chad Brown has said flat out public that he's confident or slash hoping, I wouldn't say confident, that he believes that highly motivated can get the distance. I got to tell you something. I'm not sure he can. Of course, Chad Brown knows his horse better than I do. I mean, I'm not suggesting I know the horse better, but I think it's very interesting to look at the breeding of highly motivated. So let's look at the breeding of highly motivated. Highly motivated is by Into Mischief out of a Warriors Reward dam named Strong Incentive. There you go. Brendan Cassidy. I knocked that one out of the park. So let's look at Strong Incentive. Strong Incentive, this is the thing I like about DR Formulator. You can see had two route races. One was a mile and 16th where he got a 68, she got a 68 buyer. And the other one was on turf going a mile, wired the field. But here's what you need to look at. And if you have DRF Formulator, this is why I like it a lot. You see this AWD right here? AWD. That stands for average winning distance. The average winning distance of the foals out of Strong Incentive is only 6.3 furlongs. What does that mean? Basically, the siblings are mainly sprint horses. And she's only had two, and so it's mainly based off of highly motivated. But you look at her other offspring, was nothing special. Actually raced, and I believe that is I could be wrong. I believe this is South America CMR. Very cheap horse. Really didn't do much. Let's go a little deeper in the family tree. Gigi's Dolly. This is the grand dam on the dam side. This is strong incentives. Um, actually mare, excuse me, was a sprinter. Look at this. This is all 6 furlongs. Okay, all 6 furlongs. Warrior's Reward was a nice horse for Ian Wilkes, if you remember this horse. But again, mainly sprinting. Did finish second to Jim Dandy, was better sprinting. So this pedigree to me, Leslie's Lady on the other side, again, turf races, but a lot of sprinting. This horse has a lot of sprint in his pedigree to me. I don't know if distance is going to be his friend. And the other thing is if Chad Brown thought this horse was a Derby contender, do you really think he'd only race this horse going 6.5 and 6 as a 2-year-old? I mean, he's not afraid to throw horses going 2 turns. And in the last race, the Gotham was only 1 turn. So here's what I'm saying. In my opinion, highly motivated is probably the second most talented horse in this race. But I am hoping, from a value perspective, he does not. I don't think he's going to beat Essential Quality, and I'm hoping he doesn't finish second because you'll see my trifecta and my play in this race. I'm not using highly motivated in either of the first 2 spots. I don't think distance is going to be his friend. I love the horse. I just don't love the spot for him on Saturday in the Bluegrass. So, I know what you're wondering. Who do I like? Hidden Stash seems a little slow to me right now. He is consistent, but he's pretty much running 83s, 78s. That last race, I don't know how high a quality race that is. He basically followed Helium, by the way, so the race flow worked out perfect for Hidden Stash. He just followed Helium around the track, ran perfectly fine, but the race came back a little slow. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the horse I like. Now, I want to say, I want to talk about something today because it made me laugh. So I had work today. Of course, I'm a school teacher. I come home from work, and I wanted to see there's something called Horse Players Happy Hour. It's in the Money podcast. Anyway, Matt Bernier was on with Peter Thomas Fornatal today. And by the way, everything you see here on the show, I put all my screen layouts. I typed everything in last night. So all my opinions that you see were completely finished last night. I go and I watch this show that Peter Thomas Fornatal and Matt Bernier, who I have a ton of respect for. I hope to meet him in person one day. We've chatted many times, and obviously I've been on the show. I'm listening to Matt Bernier, who, by the way, is going to be on NBC this weekend at Aqueduct covering the Wood. But they were talking about the Bluegrass because someone put in the chat, what do you think about the Bluegrass? And I had to laugh because Matt Bernier and I are exactly the same thinking, and we didn't talk about this race at all. Matt Bernier and I both like the 2 quite a bit. Not to win the race, most likely, but definitely underneath. Untreated for Todd Pletcher, you see, didn't run great his first time out. By the way, look who Untreated lost to in his debut, Candyman Rocket, and it was a very live race. Todd Pletcher takes over for Chad Brown. They switch barns. This is a Team Valor horse. Goes to Tampa and won with an 86 buyer going 2 turns. And I have to show you this race. This is, by the way, out of Nyquist. He's by Nyquist, excuse me, out of an Unbridled Song, Mare Fully Living. We have to watch this replay because I really like Untreated underneath in the Bluegrass. So it's a maiden race. By the way, you see Steve. You see this italics. Steve came back and won. Big Venezuela, who was in last in this race, came back and won, although it was a cheaper race. It's not so much the competition, it's how Untreated did it in this race. Untreated is the 8 horse, and I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead because we have a little time. Let's go ahead and watch this whole race through. I actually, I'm going to fast. So Untreated is the 8. You see he got bumped there a little bit. Didn't get off to the great start. This is a very big horse with a long stride. You see he's on the outside there, getting a clear trip, but a little bit wide. This horse reminds me a lot of a horse that ran last week in Florida called Collaborate. Now, I liked Collaborate quite a bit. It was a tough task. Collaborate, though, had not gone 2 turns. Not only that, Collaborate was 4 wide. He just didn't get a great trip, but I think Collaborate's going to be a factor going forward. Anyway, back to Untreated. You see Untreated here on the outside, getting a nice smooth trip. Now watch this middle move. I know it's a maiden race. He's got a very long, fluid stride, and watch this move he makes. You do not see a 2-turn maiden usually make this kind of move. And again, you could say, what was the quality of the field? Okay, maybe it wasn't great. He's chasing after 2 long shots. He absolutely blows by 5 horses on the turn, ranges up in hand. He's not even asking right now. And he's going by, I know, 36 to 1 shot, 56 to 1 shot. I get it. But look at the stride on this horse. This is a very long stride horse. Switches leads professionally. Jock goes the stick a little bit here. And again, I just like everything about the optics of this horse. He looks very professional. He's going on with it. He wins easily at 6 to 5. Again, this is a very long striding horse. I think this horse has a big future. I really like what I saw. And no, not every main race I fall in love with, and not every big speed figure I fall in love with. But I like Untreated. I hope Joel Rosario is going to be aggressive. He needs to be aggressive out of the gate in this race. I see a lot of comments right now. I don't want to ignore you in the comment. Again, I appreciate you commenting. Peter Alpe likes highly motivated. Listen, highly motivated can win. I'm just against him, Peter, but good luck with him. Richard Flax, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Uh, let's see, he was just talking about his time at the Mudbug, which is a great OTB in the Chicago area. There's a lot of different ways you can play essential quality. Um, anyway, I don't want to read every comment in the chat, but I do want to respect the people that are chatting. Untreated is going to be my clear second choice in this race. Also, I don't know if you're going to get 10 to 1. You might get 8 to 1. I don't think Untreated can win this race. I doubt it. It's a lot to ask. It's a big step up. So I don't think he's beating essential quality, but I definitely like him in for second. I would use in an A. I'll show you what I'm going to use in my ABC here in a moment. Other horses to talk about. Rombauer. I looked at Rombauer a little bit. I think he might be better on the poly. He's got more turf breeding and more. Um, he's got more turf breeding. He ran down a horse in the El Camino Real. I was not impressed with uh, that race at Golden Gate. He could improve. I think he can clunk up. I don't think he's a threat to win at all, though. LeBlanc has no business being in this race. Hush of a Storm, same thing. This is a poly horse to me. I don't like his one dirt race was awful. Maybe he's just a better horse now. He's out of Creative Cause, or he's by Creative Cause, excuse me, out of a flatter mare, Hush now. But I don't really like him in this spot. Sitting on Go has just done absolutely nothing since his 2-year-old campaign. Keep me in mind. Keep me in mind. Needed that last race for sure. It was a speed. They did close a little bit in that race, but he was 5 to 6 wide on the far turn. I think Keep Me in Mind will definitely be better on Saturday. I do not like him as a win candidate. Let's go ahead and talk about what my betting strategy is here in the Bluegrass. So in the Bluegrass, there we go. In the Bluegrass, I think Essential Quality is my lone A. Guys, there's nothing creative there. He's the Kentucky Derby favorite. I think he's got a big chance to win the Derby. I don't. They're not going to empty the tank in this race. Again, there's not a lot of speed in this race. I really didn't talk about the pace factor. We'll go back and talk about it very briefly. Um, I think he's a clear single. I just don't think anyone's going to beat him. I've got the 2 and 3. I've got Untreated and Highly Motivated as C's in case something weird happens. But I really don't think they're a threat to win the race. My trifecta play. So I would put essential. Now you can still make money in this race. Again, you can still make money with a 2 to 5 on top, but it makes absolutely 0 sense. 0 sense to put highly motivated in second in an exacta or a trifecta. 0 sense. Even if you think highly motivated is talented and will probably finish second, if you feel that way, you should sit out the race. from a betting perspective. Because, guys, you're not going to make any money. There's just no reason to play an exacta or a trifecta, essential quality, highly motivated. Makes no sense. So, in second place, I have Untreated and Keep Me in Mind, who obviously will like the distance, will be better in second. And then I have a whole bunch of horses in third. That is for $1. That is a $15 play. And then you can see I also have Untreated and Keep Me in Mind in third. So I'm keying those two in second and third. And I have almost all the same horses in second. Now, you notice I do not have the three in second on that second trifecta play. That is not a typo. That's highly motivated. Again, I'm not going to play a trifecta with essential quality and then highly motivated. It just makes no sense at all to do that. So in that second trifecta play, which is only $12 for a dollar try, I've completely tossed highly motivated off the ticket. If highly motivated does not finish in the money, you can make some money in this trifecta if you get some two prices in for second and third. And then I'm going to play a straight exacta, essential quality and untreated. I'm hoping I get, maybe $18 for two, somewhere in that area. I think untreated will be, he's not going to be the second choice. He might not be the third choice. I think he's probably around the fourth choice. I think Keep Me in Mind will be the third choice. He's more of a name. It'll be interesting to see how the public bets this race. I'm going to do a straight exacta 4-2 and hope to make some money that way. That is my opinion in the Bluegrass. Please, again, comment below. Tell me what you think. Again, the chat there on the right side of the screen right over there. Go ahead and tell me what you think about this race. I see some people chatting. Jared Bush, maybe fourth for Keep Me in Mind. I agree with you, Peter, obviously. Peter's got a great stat. This is why I love these chats. Listen, I can't look up every stat all the time. And Peter, I really appreciate this stat. Peter in the chat, Pletcher is 1 for 40 according to Peter, and I'm sure Peter is correct, but you can check him out there if you don't believe Peter is correct. Pletcher 1 for 40 going from a maiden win into a stakes race. So Peter, just to make it clear and everyone else, I don't like Untreated to win the race. I don't think he's going to win the race. I think Essential Quality is tons the best in this race. But there's no reason why he can't finish second, Peter. And I think actually down the road, I think Untreated can be a very nice horse. Maybe eventually like a Travers horse, one of a late developing 3-year-old along with Collaborate. I'm very interested in see how Untreated and Collaborate. In fact, if there was a future bet for the Travers, those two horses I'd be very interested in betting. I don't think there is a future bet in the Travers, at least at this point. But if there is, I'm going to find out. And those two horses, I think, have big futures um, in here. Dean G. Dean, thank you very much for joining the show. Again, guys, we have over 30 people watching the live stream right now. I can't thank you again. Please get on the phone. Hey, there's this great live stream right now. Let's go ahead, put it on YouTube, Howard's Horse Handicap, and let's watch it. Thank you again for watching if you're on right now. I know I started a little bit earlier tonight if you're on the West Coast or if you're Central Standard Time. So thank you for watching. Dean G has joined us. Vicky Oliver, I have a lot of respect for her. He likes the one a little bit in this race, Hidden Stash. I have the one for third, Dean. I don't really like Hidden Stash for second. I question the Tampa Bay Derby quality, to be honest with you. But again, to me, after Essential Quality, you can pretty much throw your hands up in the air for second and third for the most part in this race. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go on to the last race, and then we got to talk about the contest. The last race that we're going to talk about tonight is the Santa Anita Derby. So the Santa Anita Derby, of course, the big story coming out of California or the Kentucky Derby Trail in general is unfortunately Life is Good was injured, is out of the race. That completely opened up the horses coming from California and has made the Santa Anita Derby much more wide open than it would have been before. So from a betting perspective, I think this race is interesting. I know a lot of people are going to lean on Medina Spirit at Santa Anita. I think this race is much more than just Medina Spirit. He's going to be a pretty short price. I don't think he has to win at all. Let's go out to Arcadia, which, by the way, is also a gorgeous track. And of course, on the top right-hand corner of the screen, you can see right there, that picture there. That is San Anita. In case you didn't know, um, if you've ever been to San Anita, you know what I'm talking about. The San Gabriel Mountains in the background. The first time I was at San Anita was also right before the pandemic. Just an app. I saw Omaha Beach win the Malibu. This was 2019, right after Christmas Day. What an unbelievable place, San Anita. If you have a chance to go there, highly recommend you do that. So let's talk about the San Anita Derby. San Anita Derby, here we go. San Anita Derby, it is race 8. Now, if this is accurate, okay, the San Anita Derby is supposed to go off at 7:15 Eastern. So again, the San Anita Derby is going off at 7:15 Eastern. It is the 8th race, so it's going to be obviously after the Bluegrass. It's a mile and an eighth, grade 1, $750,000. Obviously restricted for 3-year-olds. This is a 10-horse field. Let's go ahead and look at the field for the San Anita Derby. Roman Centurion for Simon Callahan, 8-1. You have Dream Shake, 7-2 for Peter Urton. Rock Your World, very interesting horse, undefeated on turf for Umberto Rispoli, John Sadler, 4-1. Parnelli, a long shot for John Sheriffs, putting the blinkers on for Maldonado, a great speed rider, 20-1. Back Ring Luck, another John Sadler horse. This is a new acquisition for him. Tyler Bays, coming from the Midwest, 20-1. Out of the Legend, 12-1. For Steve Asmussen, does not usually send horses out to the West Coast on the dirt. This is a very interesting move, a very confident move for Steve Asmussen. Maybe he knows something that we don't. Mario Gutierrez for Three Chimney Farms, 12-1. There's your favorite, 5-2. Medina Spirit is 2-4 lifetime. The other 2 losses, he's lost to Life is Good. Johnny Velasquez on the mount, in for the ride for a guy you might have heard before, this guy named Bob Baffert. I hear he's a pretty good trainer. This is your favorite. Law Professor just broke his maiden. Michael McCarthy as another Triple Crown, or excuse me, another Kentucky Derby contender, or at least he hopes so. For Kent DeSormo getting the mount, 10-1, who's trying to again make another comeback after some personal issues he's had over the years. The Great One for Doug O'Neill, Abel Cedillo, 8-1, and then Defunded. Now, I do have a little bit of a story with Defunded. Defunded, who won his last race on March 6th, and if you're a fan of the show, or maybe you remember that this happened, Defunded was in the last race of the day, a maiden race, which was the last race of the mandatory pick 6 that I was able to give out in the show for $2,000. He had another horse called Following C. So Baffert had 2 horses in that race. Defunded was a much bigger price in that race. You could see he got off at almost 9-1, and he helped increase my pick 6 payout quite a bit. I only had 3 horses in this race. Thank you, Defunded and Bob Baffert, for coming through on March 6th. Do I like him on Saturday? We're going to find out right now. So let's first talk about the favorite here, Medina Spirit. Medina Spirit is a very nice horse. I do not think he has to win. He's obviously one of my, I shouldn't say obviously, but he is one of my top choices in this race. We're going to go ahead and watch the replay. Now, the San Felipe, there are 4 horses coming out of this race. So we absolutely have to watch this race. See Medina Spirit, Dream Shake, Roman Centurion, and the Great One. They're all coming out of this race. So let's talk about it. By the way, I just want to mention one thing because I did not talk about the pace of the Bluegrass very much. I apologize. And Khan asked in the chat, he said, does Essential Quality have enough early speed to win the Kentucky Derby? Sorry, I thought he was going to be talking about the Bluegrass. Yes, I think Essential Quality can be tactical, Con. I don't think he's like a one-run closer at all. So I think definitely he can. Um, Dean also asked, do I consider betting a superfecta in a race like this? I'm assuming he's talking about the Bluegrass. Dean, I do not play a lot of superfectas, to be very honest. It's just not a bet that I'm interested in. But yes, I do think the superfecta bet would be good, especially if you can get highly motivated out of the second and third spot. But if you think Essential Quality is going to win, and if you think highly motivated is going to definitely get second or third, again, I'm not really sure it's worth your bet, but it's certainly not a bad idea. I just don't play superfectas, just to answer your question, Dean. Anyway, back to this race, the San Felipe. 4 horses coming out of this race. 2357. Let's take a look at it. 2357, the horse you want to watch. We're going to watch the whole thing. It's important. The 2 is Dream Shake, who I think is very interesting in this race. The 3 is Medina Spirit. The 5 is the Great One, and the 7 is Roman Centurion. This is Life is Good on top, and you see Medina Spirit and the Great One both get good trips, although you'll see Medina Spirit right here go a little bit wide and take the Great One out a little bit wider, and you see Dream Shake here on the inside, and here's Roman Centurion. So the Great One definitely got the worst of that first turn. It looks like he's in like the 2 or 3 path. He's more in like the 4 or 5 path. So the Great One definitely was wide on that first turn because Baffert didn't want Medina Spirit to engage with Life is Good. Anyway, there aren't a lot of there's not a lot of trouble lines to watch here. It's just interesting to watch to see how they run. But what you're going to see is Dream Shake up on the inside try to make a little bit of an early move. And I think he ran better than it looks, in my opinion. You see, when Medina Spirit goes, you see Dream Shake on the inside sort of goes right with him, as does the Great One. But the Great One faded pretty badly. You see right here, if you look carefully at his hands, the jock on Dream Shake right now, Dream Shake and Medina Spirit are basically all out. I mean, they're all out right here. And actually, uh, Dream Shake did get ahead in front of Medina Spirit here. Right now, Dream Shake is in front. But the sort of experience and I think the stamina of Medina Spirit, he actually ends up going by Dream Shake. And here's Roman Centurion right here, the 7 horse. And here's the Great One. Obviously, Life is Good wins by a lot. And I'm just going to go ahead and freeze it right when Medina Spirit. So here's Medina Spirit right there. You see Dream Shake right there. Again, this is only Dream Shake's second lifetime start. First time around 2 turns. So I think that was a pretty big effort, especially because he was used early. And then you see there's Roman Centurion, and you see the 5, the Great One, right there. So that was the San Felipe. So what do I take out of that race? Well, obviously no one was being Life is Good. To me, in my opinion, Dream Shake ran just as well, the 2, who's 7-2 morning line, ran just as well as Medina Spirit. Now, Medina Spirit, you can see, has been living in the mid 90s. This is a very nice horse. Could he take a step up for Baffert? Absolutely. He's been working great. But I think it's fair to say that Dream Shake can easily take a step back up to that same buyer as long as he can get the distance. He's also been working very well. So to me, Dream Shake and Medina Spirit should not be that much different of a price, in my personal opinion. They are both A's for me. The other horse, and maybe I'm just a sucker, and I don't know if this horse can win. I'll be honest. I'm not sure. But Defunded, this is not, by the way, I don't just waste money. Okay. I'm not using Defunded as a possible win candidate because he won for me last time in the pick 6. That is not the reason. I like this horse's breeding. I think this horse is going to love the distance. And I think this is the best closer in the race. Now, when you just go down and look at the PPs, Rowan Centurion's going to close. I don't love him. Maybe he wants more distance, but I'm just not that impressed with Roman Centurion. I think Dream Shake, is probably going to be relatively close to the pace, not on the lead, but he's not a slow horse. Rock Your World figures to be close to the lead. I'll talk about Rock Your World in a minute. Parnelli, to me, is definitely going. I don't think there's any question Parnelli is going. He's got blinkers on for Maldonado. I don't like him, but he's going to show speed. Backring Luck has really done nothing but show speed. So I'm not saying he's fast early, but he likes to be up front. Out of the Legend's going to close. You know Medina Spirit's going to be up close. Law Professor more mid-pack. The Great One, you figure he's going to be relatively close to the pace. He hasn't really shown any ability to close. He's a speed type. It seems to me there's a lot of speed in this race. I think Defunded, look at the breeding. This horse is by dialed in out of a touch gold mare, Windcaper. This horse has distance breeding all over. And Windcaper, as you can see, was more of a sprinter. But you go look at the siblings, looking at Roses, has gone 2 turns, including a mile and a half he won at, mile and 3/8. You see Spelker was actually a nice turf sprinter. So there's Defunded. Terry's Charm at the bottom there going a mile and a half in some of his races. I have no doubt Defunded is going to want to go long. Touch Gold, of course, was a fantastic horse. If you remember Touch Gold, he won the Belmont over Silver Charm when Silver Charm was trying to win the Triple Crown. It was an amazing race. If you've never seen that race, go onto YouTube and watch the Touch Gold Silver Charm Belmont from 1997. I still remember it very well. Can't believe it's been 24 years ago. I am getting very old. Anyway, out of mine shaft. Look, this horse wants to go long. This is a big ask. No question about it. This is a big ask. He's never been 2 turns. Bob Baffert goes to Mike Smith on this horse. I watched his workout. Let me put me on screen very quickly. So, if you want to see workouts, xbtv.com, you can watch a lot of workouts from a lot of the graded stakes horses. Now, you do need an Express Bet account or a First Bet account, which I do have. But if you happen to have an Express Bet account or you want to open one up, you can watch for free some workouts of some of these horses from all over the country. They've got them in Florida, California. The workout on Defunded last time was very impressive. His last work, they rated. He blew by a horse. This is a very big horse. Reminds me a little bit of Untreated, actually, who's running in the Bluegrass. Anyway, this is a lot to ask of Defunded, but if the race falls apart and there's a lot of speed, I think this is the horse you want. I'm using Defunded possibly as an A, definitely as a B. And the other horse I would use in this race is Roman Centurion, probably more of a B or C type. Distance might be his friend. I didn't like what I saw in that last race. He's not an Empire Maker. Obviously, he wants to go longer. He just seems to me sort of a plodding one, type. I don't see a lot of acceleration in him. I'm just not. I'd prefer him in a race more like the Belmont, and I really wouldn't love him in that race either. Not a huge fan of Roman Centurion. So Rock Your World's the other horse I want to talk about. I have to look at the workout reports for Rock Your World. Even though he's working fast, from what I understand, the workouts are not as good on paper as they were in real life. I have to get the workout report. I don't want to give a huge opinion on Rock Your World right now, other than to say 2 things. Number one, I would never bet a horse at 4-1 who has not been on the dirt, try and do something he's never done before. And number two, there's other speed in the race. I'm very much against Rock Your World in this race. I know he's a fresh face. He's got great connections. He's bred well, but he's never been on dirt. And again, he's going to be bet probably. So I'm against Rock Your World unless the workout reports are off the charts. I'm going to have to buy those and look at those. We'll have to see. So let's go ahead and take a look at my betting strategy for the Santa Anita Derby. So here's my betting strategy for the Santa Anita Derby. Again, I like Dream Shake and Medina Spirit. Again, not overly creative. I'm sorry I don't have a great long shot on top for you necessarily, unless Defunded wins. But my overall opinion is that Medina Spirit is probably going to be a little bit overbet and just not have to win on Saturday. I think Dream Shake can absolutely win that race. And if the race falls apart and Defunded is ready to go the distance, I think Defunded is a very interesting horse, if not on top, underneath. I'm not sure what price you're going to get. That's the other Baffert. It's Baffert and Mike Smith. He's going to take probably more money than I want him to. And I have Roman Centurion as a B, but I might downgrade him to a C, and I might downgrade Defunded down to a B. I just depends on how you like the race. My trifecta, this is a pretty big trifecta. I'd probably use 2, 7, 10 on top. under with 12710 with a bunch of horses. I do want to say, and that's a $45 try for $1. Again, of course, you can use that pick. You can completely ignore it. You can make it smaller. And I'd put a win in place bet on Defunded because I do think he has a shot at a price in this race. I just want to quickly talk about one more horse before I talk about our contest. So if you're, we have almost everyone is still on. Again, I appreciate it. If you're watching this as a replay, we're going to get to my free contest here in just a minute. I do want to talk about one other horse, Out of the Legend, who's 12-1 for Steve Asmussen. I'm not going to show the replay just for time purposes, but it says traffic at the 7/16 in the short comments. He did have a little traffic. He got a good trip. He took a lot of dirt. He was eating dirt. He was in behind, so got great experience, was in behind horses, angled out and won nicely. The fact that Steve Asmussen is taking this horse out west tells me two things. He likes the horse, and he thinks the Santa Anita, the horses out in California are a bit vulnerable. And I have to say, other than probably Dream Shake and Medina Spirit, I agree with him. This is a very confident move. If you want a complete, a bigger price in this race, I think Out of the Legend. I don't like him to win, but again, I could use him in second in a trifecta. This is just a very confident move. I love the breeding here, by the way. Also, this is out of a Chester House mare. I remember I bet Chester House. He won the Arlington Million on turf. I remember that horse very well. So the 6 could also probably run on turf at some point in his career. But this is a very unusually confident move for Steve Ashman to send this horse all the way across the country. Gemini, thanks for joining the show. Gemini makes a comment. He said Medina Spirit will now be getting a lot more attention from Baffert now that he's no longer playing second fiddle. I don't know, when you say more attention from Baffert, I don't know if you mean that Baffert's going to, literally pay more attention to Medina Spirit and like care about him more and give him more literally attention, or you mean the public is going to give Medina Spirit more attention. I'm not sure what you mean by that. But yes, I mean, listen, right now you'd have to say Medina Spirit is Bob Baffert's top horse in his barn. But Defunded's a nice horse. He's also got another horse, by the way, Gemini. Let me just go ahead on camera here. Hold on one second. So Gemini, he's got another horse called Triple Tap. Triple Tap, who is bred to be something special. He won his maiden very impressively. I've not heard where Triple Tap is going next, but remember the name Triple Tap as you go deeper into the Kentucky Derby trail, a very talented horse for Bob Baffert. Okay, so we are not done yet. That is my review of the 3 races this weekend as Kentucky Derby preps. Again, agree, disagree, comment down below. If you follow me on Twitter, if you don't follow me on Twitter, by the way, please start following me on Twitter because I'll send out some things on Saturday after scratches. I have a family engagement on Saturday afternoon. I will not be tweeting as much. I might have to even DVR some of these races and watch them later. So if you follow me on Twitter, I might not be as active on Twitter later in the afternoon during the races as I normally am. But of course, I will watch these races, if not live, later on Saturday. So let's talk about the contest. Are you ready now? Here we go. Free contest. So I decided, how can we get some more people involved in the show? If you go online, there's all these free contests. I have no corporate sponsorship right now, okay? I'm not TVG. This is not going to be for $5,000. This is something fun. Hopefully we'll get some more viewers to watch the show. And yes, it's legitimate. This is coming out of my own pocket. I'm a nice guy. I want to help people out. So what is the free contest? Let's go talk about it. The free contest. Here it is, folks. What you're going to do, you have to guess the trifecta in the wood. It's only a 9-horse field. Okay, it's never easy to hit a trifecta. I'm not saying this is a simple thing. It shouldn't be simple. This is for a prize, right? You're going to play the trifecta, and not the box, not key, just 3 horses. This first, this horse second, this horse third. Now, you're going to put it below the video player. Do not send me an email. Do not send me a tweet. And you need to put it in the comments below the video player, your trifecta for the wood. Also, to be eligible to win the contest, you must be a subscriber. If you are not a subscriber, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you have a significant other, if you have a friend, say, hey, you want to get that sneaky second bet in there, like, right? You want to put your you want to put your bet in someone else's name. I got no problem with that. Go ahead and do it. All right, but they must be a subscriber. So tell anyone and everyone you'd like, subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, okay? And you're gonna guess the trifecta in the wood. You're gonna put your wager, in quotes, your bet, below the video player of this live stream on my YouTube channel. Then you need to guess the payout for the dollar try. This is the tiebreaker because I have to have some kind of tiebreaker. And I'm assuming there's going to be more than one person that might hit it, especially if some chalks come in. It's up to you. Do you want to play chalks? You want to go for some long shots and be the lone winner? It's up to you. So you're going to put your guess for the dollar trifecta in the wood. Please include dollars and cents. Don't you? I mean, you can put $158. You don't have to put the cents in, but I would ask that you do to avoid a tie situation. So please put in dollars and cents of your dollars. This is a $1 try. Okay. The winner. How do you win? You have to guess the try, and if there's a tie, you have to be the closest guess in the dollar trifecta. Okay. You will receive a gift certificate from me, and we'll work out the details later. From Old Smoke Clothing, if you don't know Old Smoke, they're great. They have a lot of great horse racing T-shirts and other paraphernalia. It's a great. Again, I'm not sponsored by Old Smoke. You can go on their website and take a look at it, or if you like, you can take the money and you can make a donation to a horse racing charity like Thoroughbred Retirement's Fund. Again, we can talk about that. Maybe there's a horse racing charity by you that you like, and we can. Will make a donation to that horse racing charity in your name. There's no pressure. If you rather have, a T-shirt, whatever, instead of a donation, no problem. It's gonna be the winner's gonna be completely anonymous unless you want your name to go out there. That's up to you. So, for example, what you're going to do below the video player, you'll say, for example, 241. Okay? Let's say you like the 241 as a trifecta in the wood, and then you'll put your dollar amount. So for my sample there, I said 241, and my prediction for the dollar try is going to pay 152.40. The deadline is 3 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. You have to have, and at about 2 o'clock, I'm going to print out all the picks, so please respect that deadline. You have to have your pick in underneath the video player of this live stream on my YouTube channel by 3 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. Okay, again, the sample play. Please don't give me horses' names. I don't want very long. I want you to comment. If you want to comment about the show, fantastic. But in terms of the contest play, just give me 3 numbers like that with dashes or slashes in between, and then a dollar amount. If there happens to be a late scratch after 2 o'clock Eastern, or 3 o'clock Eastern on Saturday, you're just out of luck. Sorry, we can't mess around with all that. You might want to wait until Saturday morning to put your prediction in for the contest, or you can just simply go ahead and put it in before Saturday and then change it. Whatever's up to you. But if there's a scratch and one of your horses that you like in the trifecta is scratch, unfortunately, you're going to be out of luck. If you win, I will contact you via the YouTube reply below the video player next week. So that's the contest. Again, if you haven't hit the try, you should definitely look at the comments. I might be replying to you. If I don't reply to you, that means that someone else had a closer guess to the $1 trifecta dollar amount than you did. It's not easy to hit a trifecta straight, but you know what? Again, I think of the wood, there's only a few choices you really have on the win end, in my opinion. And of the 9 horses, I think some that you can frankly toss out completely. That's the contest. By the way, it's about a $50 value. Again, coming straight out of my pocket. I have no sponsorship. This is just coming from me to you as a thanks to you for enjoying the show. But you have to subscribe. So please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and take care of that so that you can win. Now, what else is coming up? Tomorrow, Friday night, same time, same channel. I will have a live stream. Again, I don't know yet what it's going to be about. Right now, again, go on Twitter. There's a survey on there, just a real quick poll. You just click a button on what you'd like to see. Would you like me to preview the late pick five at Keeneland on Saturday? Would you like me to see to preview the 20-cent mandatory pick six payout at San Anita on Saturday? The vote right now is very close. The only way to vote, you can't vote below the video player. You can't vote by sending me an email. The only way to vote is going on Twitter, find my stream, and uh, vote on what you'd like to see for tomorrow's live stream. Will be one of those two things: the Keeneland pick five or the San Anita pick six. And then, of course, on Sunday or Monday there'll be a recap show recapping those three Kentucky Derby prep races, and I'll probably also talk a little bit about either the pick five or the pick six, depending what I preview tomorrow. And then one other thing, just next week will be big races at Oaklawn. So we'll be previewing the Arkansas Derby at Oaklawn. They'll be focusing. I'll be focusing on Oaklawn, which is the last major Kentucky Derby prep, the Arkansas Derby, featuring Concert Tour and some other nice horses next Thursday. Wow. This is just a fantastic time of year. I love this time of year. Please tell all your friends, whether you're watching this live again or you watch a replay, join me on Twitter, subscribe over here, play my free contest. Howard's Horse Handicapping continues to grow. I thank you very much for your support. I'm just going to look at the chat. If you have anything you want to chat right now, now is the time to do it. There's a little bit of a delay, so when I'm looking to my left here, I'm looking at the chat. But if you have anything else you'd like to chat, let me just go and look through that. Someone likes Hakeem Olajuwon for the San Anita Derby. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe I'm missing something there, but I love Hakeem Olajuwon. He was a fantastic center. Um, Let me see what else here. I'm just reading some more things in the chat. Um, Dean G asked, "What do I mean below the video player?" So Dean G, so once this video, so right after the show, the video will be posted, the replay of this live stream will be posted. Just the comments below. Just basically when you go to my YouTube channel and you just click on the replay of the live stream, and then it's below the video player in the comments. The comments below the video player where you can comment. That's where you're gonna put the contest pick in there. The Shakertown. Dean G is asking about the Shakertown. Let me tell you something, Dean. I tweeted out a comment about the Shakertown. The Shakertown, by the way, is a sprint race on Saturday, 5.5 furlongs. There's, I think, 13 horses in the Shakertown. It's a grade 2, I believe. There are 9. There are 9 of the 13 horses in the Shakertown that have to have the lead or just off the lead. I tweeted out there's the most speed, early speed in the Shakertown of any race that I've seen in years in terms of how much early speed there is in one race. There is a horse that I like in that race. If we end up talking about the Keeneland late pick 5 tomorrow, Dean, I'll tell you who I like in that race. I got a hint for you. It's not a dead speed horse. Someone's got to close in that race. But the Shakertown on Saturday, which is part of the late pick 5, Dean, is an unbelievable race. I do not like turf sprints, just for the record. I've never been a big fan of turf sprints. Too many things go on. One little bobble, one little issue you have, and it's really hard to win. So it's very much trip oriented, more so than even some other races, because you just don't have that time to recover. But it's a fantastic race. Thank you, Chris. I'm a huge. By the way, Chris, I used to coach basketball. I have to say I'm ashamed. The Dream Shake, I got it. Akeem Olajuwon. Now I've got the big birthday this summer. I'm turning 50. So Akeem Olajuwon was like right in my wheelhouse when he was really good there. In what is it, the late, early 90s, I believe. I have to go back and look. I loved Akeem Olajuwon. He's one of the best centers of all time by far. And he had the dream shake move from the baseline, which was unstoppable. Thank you for the. I love the reference. I'm sorry I didn't pick up on it right away. I'm a complete idiot. It's been a long day. Sorry about that. Great job with the reference there of Dream for Akeem Olajuwon and the Dream Shake. Um, Peter Peter likes Imprimis in this Shaker Town. You know, Imprimis is better going longer than 5. He's not a 5 furlong horse. Imprimis is getting older. I don't think 5 furlongs at Gulfstream on that super highway turf course um, is what Imprimis wants. I think Peter Imprimis will be much better going 5.5 on a softer grass course at Keeneland. He is not my top choice, but he is an A for me. Um, I think Imprimis can absolutely win. He hasn't won in a while, and he always seems to get in trouble. Boy, did he get in trouble in the Breeders' Cup, by the way. I don't know, Peter, if you liked Imprimis in the Breeders' Cup, but he got stopped absolutely cold in the Breeders' Cup at Keeneland last fall. I like Imprimis. He is not my top choice. In that race. All right, so again, there's a little bit of delay. I'm just going to chat here just for another about minute longer and let everything catch up. If you have any more comments, questions in the chat, I'll be happy to answer them. Dean likes the 9 just might in the Shaker Town. You know, there's a lot of people that are interested in the Shaker Town. I'm just going to quickly show up the PPs real quick because we have a lot of people still watching, and there looks like there's some interest in that race. So if everyone just give me a second, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and throw up the Shaker Town real quick. Again, I will talk about this race in more detail if the poll comes in, the survey that I have on Twitter. If you guys want to go over that race, then I will talk about that race in a lot more detail. But here's the Shaker Town on Saturday. I just look at the PPs really quick and look at the speed. I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out a little bit here. Sorry. Look at the speed. Smart Remark is like the only horse in this race that doesn't show speed. Imprimis, more mid-type, right? Chessmaster, absolutely speed. Not very good. Hollis, dead speed. Turned aside, a little bit off the speed. Ready for prime time, dead speed. Kanthaka, a little bit off the speed. American Butterfly for Lucas is probably going to show speed. Just Might, an absolute speed burner. That's the horse that Dean likes. Johnny Unleashed, a ton of speed just outside of him. Oh, we're not done yet. High Crime, a ton of speed on the outside. The Critical Way, a ton of speed on the outside. Bound for Nowhere, Wesley Ward. You don't think this horse is going to show speed? I mean, the 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, the 6, maybe a little bit of the 5, definitely the 4, the 3. I mean, are you kidding me? Wow. I mean, that is going to be an absolute war, the Shaker Town. Again, we'll talk more about that race tomorrow night if the Keeneland Pick 5 wins the Twitter survey for tomorrow's live stream. Chris Mack, thanks for joining. He says, I like Kanthaka. I'll tell you what, Chris, maybe I'll put it on Twitter. Maybe we'll be talking about tomorrow night. I'm just going to keep that to myself. We'll see. I think Kanthaka is a player in that race, but there's a lot of interesting horses in that race. So we're going to go ahead and end the show. Again, thank you very much. A lot of ways to get in touch with me through Twitter. H. Kravitz Horse. You see it right there. hkravitzhorse@gmail.com. If you'd like to email me or business inquiries, if you just want to talk to me more, less public, you can, again, follow me on Twitter. Most importantly, also, please make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel and play in my free contest. Pick that trifecta in the wood, and if there's a tiebreaker, of course, you also need to, on your selection, you also need to put in your guess for how much the dollar trifecta will pay. Whoever hits the try, and if we need a tiebreaker, whoever's closest in picking the $1 trifecta, I will contact you, and you will get some free clothing, free delivery from Old Smoke, or you can make a donation to a horse racing charity. on me. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. We had another fantastic show. Please spread the word. I have a lot of people in the industry now following me on Twitter. If you're one of those people who's going to watch the replay and you liked what you saw tonight, please spread the word around. I greatly appreciate everyone's comments in the live chat. And I hope to see you tomorrow night, same time, same bat channel, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, either the Keeneland Pick 5 or the Santa Anita Mandatory Pick 6 for another edition of Howard's Horse Handicapping. This has been Howard Kravitz. Take care, everyone. We hope to see you Friday night. Bye-bye.